What up, y'all? It's your girl K Michelle, and I'm chilling here with You Know I Got Soul, because I got soul.
So, you recently announced the title of your new album, Rebellious Soul. What's that all about?
Rebellious Soul. I decided to name my album Rebellious Soul because it's basically me. I'm always in trouble for my beliefs, and I'm not a very scary person. If I believe it, I say it. If I feel it, I do it. And I really don't care who's there to judge, because I feel like I'm being me. And that's basically it. So Rebellious Soul, I think, sums me up. And a lot of people, and even my music is very rebellious. Like, I'll sing and say the things that most R&B girls won't say.
Right.
So Rebellious Soul, it had to be there.
Cool. Musically, what's the direction of the album? Is it going to stick to your R&B roots, or is it going to follow some of the latest trends?
I'm definitely not following the latest trends on this album, because I don't even listen to the radio. But it's going to stick to some R&B roots, but I am a classically trained pianist, and I do play guitar, and I'm a very musical person as far as the different sounds and the different things I love to hear. I haven't been working by any tracks. I don't like, handing me a track and saying right to it. Everything has been created around me and centered around me. Like, I'll get a piano and I'll start to sing, and then, hand it over to a producer to produce. So it's definitely a very organic feel on the album. It's very honest. And there'll be, a lot of R&B for my fans, but I'm also going to introduce them to, I'm a huge country fan. Mm-hmm. So I'm also going to introduce them to other music as well, So I'm very excited to see the reaction.
Cool. And, as a very talented songwriter, you're able to dictate, the content of the album, what you're going to talk about. So I know your original album was going to be Pain Medicine. You were going through some things, some hurt. But I know this time around, I think you're going to do something a little different. What's the direction, lyrically?
Lyrically, I'm huge on songwriting. Like, that's very important to me. Coming up under, R. Kelly, who is an amazing songwriter, and he took so much time to train me. And, within 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you have to tell a whole story. And I think today a lot of songwriters just throw words because they rhyme or just to get through to the song. So the direction of this album is telling the stories of my life, because I know there's someone else's life as well. So I went through pain. This album isn't about crying over a man the whole album. Like, not doing it. Because there's other issues in life other than a man that women have, that we have as people. Like, we have the loss of loved ones. We have the loss of self and self-esteem and things like that. So this album will be about things like that. Like, sometimes we have self-esteem issues. I have a record that I absolutely love, and everybody is going crazy, that I recorded from the album, called I Don't Like Me. And that's a very bold statement to say, but I'm very honest in my music, and sometimes I feel like that. Not every day, but you might wake up and say, what's wrong with me? So, very honest lyrics. There's definitely not going to be anything on the album that I haven't gone through and I can't relate to.
Right, cool. I'm really interested to hear about this collaboration you mentioned on Twitter with Elle Varner.
Yes.
That sounds like something real good. So how'd that come together?
Me and Elle Varner, we have the same management. Right. And we're on MBK. That's where I'm working out at MBK Studios. We're managed by Jeff Robinson. And, we've always bumped, we never gotten really bump into each other, blah, blah. She's been on the road doing her thing. I've been doing mine. And she has a big personality just like me. And she was just in the studio. And we're like, we should work together. Like, she's very musical. Like, I'm very funny about the people I collab with, because, it could either knock you down a notch or whatever. So, creatively, musically, Elle is someone I see eye to eye with, and I think that makes for a great collaboration.
Cool. Look forward to hearing that. Mm-hmm. Something you mentioned earlier in this interview is you do what you feel, you say what you feel. You've had a mixtape called Zero Fucks Given before, and I saw on Twitter you said you started winning when you stopped caring what other people thought about you. So how has that outlook kind of helped you musically with your career?
Just not caring what people think. People are very evil. I didn't think I realized how hurt people were in the world until loving hip hop and until my fan base grew. It was like, the more hundreds of followers I got, the more hate I got. People will follow you on Twitter just to harass you. It was very difficult because I was like, you don't know me. Like, how could you wish me dead? Or you don't know me. How could you say I was lying? Or you don't know me. It could be hurtful, especially with somebody who, I got a big mouth and I could be mean, but I have a huge heart. So I had to stop. Just really caring and just seeing that those people are hurt.
Right.
More than anything. They're trying to hurt me because they're hurt. So once I stopped caring about what people thought, and once I stopped caring about people telling me what kind of artist to be, I realized, when I was off a label and I just sang what I wanted to sing, tweeted what I wanted to tweet, just lived like me, that's when I'm able to go and do shows now and sell out shows and have fans write me letters and cry because I'm being me. So if I'm always wrapped up about what you think about me, then I can't be me.
Right.
So stop caring, start winning.
It's definitely working. You're more successful than ever now. So you're obviously a super talented artist. You had the deal with Jive, but then you were independent. But how much do you think your starring in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta really had an effect on your next signing with Warner? Do you think that led to that signing, or would you have got it anyway? Do you think?
I battle every day with being on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. There are days when I'm like, I'm not gonna do it again. But management and we try to make the best decision. Because I can honestly say, if it wasn't for Mona Scott, I have been singing these same songs even when I was on Jive. Some people knew me, but not like now. People wanted to know what happened to me. That gave me the avenue to explain exactly what happened, and it happens to a lot of artists. And I was just blessed enough to get the platform to talk about it. So I feel like if it hadn't been for Love and Hip Hop, I still would have got a new deal because it's in my destiny. That's something I'm supposed to do. Every time I try to stop singing, something else comes. But would it have taken longer? Would it have been an awful deal or whatever? Who knows? But doing Love and Hip Hop, putting a song on iTunes and it goes straight, to number 6 or whatever, just because, and all that kind of stuff, that definitely came from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Right.
Cool. You mentioned it's a little trying at times being on the show, but what would you say is your favorite part about being on it?
My favorite part about being on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is, I don't know at this point. I'm blessed. That's all I can say. I'm blessed to be on a show with like 6.5 million viewers and people can learn you. I'm always open with my fans, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like, man, I'm really open. So, I'm blessed to be on the show. I will say that's my favorite part, just to have the avenue to push, my music and the avenue for people to see, this time you'll see more of the creation of this album. Right. So.
Cool. In a time when R&B isn't really in the forefront like it used to be, how important do you think these reality shows that feature R&B artists like the Braxtons, like R&B divas, like, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, how important are they, do you think, to the R&B landscape?
I think it's very important that these shows, have a lot of R&B artists, because it's like we're listening to all this kind of music. That's not the kind of music I've ever wanted to sing, and R&B is so amazing. And the thing about it is I have to blame the radio, for not playing it or just taking the easy way out and pushing something easy on our kids, you know what I'm saying? But our kids are like, they're not going to be able to go back and listen to it years from now and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very important. So it does give people, the platform to really hear R&B music.
Right. Cool. And just finally, to wrap up, as an artist who's persisted, even though you've been through struggles in your career and made it and succeeded and got that deal second time around, what's a message you can give to upcoming artists that are just struggling out there and trying to make it themselves?
I think a message that I can give to up-and-coming artists, it's not easy. Like, if you're not ready for the fight, then don't do it. A couple of, my peers in the game have had it easy. Just being honest. But they've also had their own struggle. You can't knock somebody else's struggle because it's not like yours. But you do have to understand, just because you have talent doesn't mean guaranteed success. And just because you have talent doesn't mean that you're a star.
Right.
So, if you want it, you fight for it. And that's all I can say. It's not going to be easy, though.
Cool. So that's all we had for you. Anything you'd like to add?
I just want to thank everybody for the support that you all have been really giving me, and it's really appreciated. Without that outpouring of support and calls to stations and yelling at yelling at record labels, I would have got this deal probably as soon as I did. So I thank you for that. Also, I'm headlining for the first time at BB King's on February 19th, and I did SOBs, and those 2 shows sold out, so make sure you guys get to this one. And I'll be at Howard Theater on February 20th. So I look forward to seeing you guys. And I'm presenting new music from the album. So can't wait to see you.